having a kitchen conversation. I just thought in my mind, I was like, okay, maybe I should start shooting video in my kitchen because it's less noisy, and that way I can be able to just sneak out from my boys and be able to shoot this video. Now let's talk about, a friend of mine was telling me that she's not happy, and she's very, very depressed. And one thing that struck my mind, because I love to make video same situation like this, because when I hear um any word, or or somebody tells me information that I think that maybe I can also share the way I address it with that individual person. So I like to, you know, kind of like elaborate a little bit, so that way other people can also have access to it. Anyway, she said she's not happy, and I did ask her, like, you know, what do you mean? And she was like, she's dating a guy and she's got a child, and she's dating the guy, but it's not the father of the child, but the same time the guy is cheating on her. So she is really, really stressed, and the same time she's not focusing on the child. And I was like, okay, I'm just gonna make a video, because when I make a video, that way she can be able to have full access to how, maybe the way that she can probably figure out what is best for her. Because I personally really don't like, and I'm not comfortable to give people advice and say do it like this, because people have to be ready. People have to know why they probably have made up their mind that they don't want a relationship anymore. So I think it's always best for us to respect people's space and their opinion and their decision, because it helps them to be able to make the right decision. Because sometimes when a person tells us something that is not, that even though we might not like it, or maybe they share us some information that we might find it a bit really, really uncomfortable, but I think when it has to do with you as a person, you probably know what's best for you, or how you can be able to take action immediately. But when it has to do with another person, it's very, very tricky. So it's very, very important for us not to get involved when it comes to advice. I think that's what many of us really don't understand, that giving people advice is very, very complex. It's something that you have to let people be ready, mentally ready, physically ready. Like, they have to be ready emotionally. They just have to be ready. And so anyway, let me not take too long of this information, or this conversation, kitchen conversation. And yeah, when a girl, or the guy, let me just focus on the girl right now. When a girl is dating a guy, right, one, you've got your child, you've got that child, wherever decision that you're going to be making at the end of the day, being a mom, is going to affect your child. So I don't personally believe that it's appropriate for you to have a child, you know, in your hand, and you move into a relationship immediately without you having done your assessment, you haven't done your investigation, you haven't gone out for a date a couple of times, or for even weeks or so, to get to know who is this person. Who, anyway, it's really, really long, because I'm just trying to cut it short. Because when you get attached, right, and your child get attached, and just imagine you don't know who that individual person is, the guy that you're dating or you're about to bring into your life. You don't know how that person, their own moral values, or their own value in general, or into a relationship. So just imagine, maybe that guy is just the kind of a guy that is just like a F-boy, you know, or a better man who just like to go into and sleep with different women, and they don't invest their emotion into it. They don't attached, and you end up to have a child. You end up to be in a relationship with that individual person, and that person, at the end of the day, the person have got into your cookies, have eaten your cookies, and move on. The same way that when you are struggling and you're being affected, because remember, we as female, we get easily attached emotionally. It's different from men. A man can have cookies and he can move on, and he doesn't get attached the way a woman will probably just get attached immediately. So that's the reason why it's very, very important, because in as much as you like the person, in as much as you really, really would like to experience the relationship with him, but it's very important for you to sit back. Don't let loneliness, don't be too like eager, like, oh yeah, because the guy is very, very handsome, he's very, very cute. There's so much to a guy than just a physical appearance. Because I've seen that many times when I'm watching people, talk about what do you want in a guy, and it's just so funny because what people are looking for in a guy is not what make your home. What you're looking for in a man is not what actually will make you emotionally and happy and satisfied, and just be like, okay, one, you're not even looking at, is this guy, is he mentally ready? Is he really, is he there yet? What stage he is in life? Because it can easily influence my son. It can even easily even make me, it can trigger saying things about my emotion just in case he's not a serious person. And if he's making me uncomfortable, unhappy, how does that also affect the way I parent to my child? So that's the reason why it's very, very important when we are dating a person. It's very important for us not to just throw ourselves into it, regardless of we feeling that loneliness, regardless of we feeling like maybe we're alone, and regardless of maybe, because some people will think that, oh, I'm not old, you are old, because when you were born as a full baby. You were born as a full baby, I mean. So you were never born as half. So if you don't feel whole, then you should sit by yourself and become and get to know yourself a bit more, because there's something about you that you haven't got to know about yourself. That's the reason why you feel like you're not whole, because you are whole as a person. You just need to know yourself a bit more, so that way you don't become vulnerable in throwing yourself into a relationship that might not be healthy for you. And at the end of the day, where the relationship end up to affect you emotionally, psychologically, and the same thing, the stressor will pass through, go from you to your child. And how does that even affect your son? And looking at how does it affect your son even in the long term, because your son can also have a poor view of attachment. Your son can also be affected even when they grow up, in the way that they even establish relationship with other people. So that's the reason why it's very, very important. When a person is not consistent, when a person is not reliable, when a person does not hold themselves accountable, when the person is not present the way you really, really want the person, or the person not treating you the way that you would love to, then it's very, very easy, before giving your cookies and make a decision, to just know that, no, this is not what I want for my life. And when you have low self-esteem, most times it doesn't allow you to put yourself on the pedestal, because you end up to put that person on the pedestal even if the person have nothing to offer you. Why do you think company employ you? They employ you because they saw your value. They employ you because they've seen the value in you. They know that when you come into the organization, you've got value that you're going to put into the organization, right? So even though that maybe you might not be as perfect, or as as perfect that they might be looking for, but they know that at least they can be able to invest in you. They can be able to give you more training. They can be able to train you in a way that you'll be so suitable for the position that they've offered you. So they don't just, a company will not just tell you and say, okay, come because we need staff, or because we need a manager, you just start working. No, they want to see some value in you. So the same thing happened with us as ladies. We need to prove, we need to have standard, and we need to know, and you shouldn't be afraid to have standard, and you shouldn't be afraid to not believe that you deserve better. So at the end of the day, when a person loves you, they will fight their way all through to be in your life. So anyway, I hope you find it very, very inspiring, and don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel.